Welcome to Shardcast, the Brandon Sanderson podcast. We're a bunch of mega fans giving you the news, discussion, and of course a whole lot of opinions about Brandon's works and the Cosmere. I'm Eric, and joining me is Ian.
Hey, I'm WeiryWriter.
Also joining me is Evgeni.
50% of this podcast's accents.
And lastly, we have Ben.
Hey guys, I'm Overlord Jebus, the other 50%.
I guess I never introduced myself anymore. I'm Argent. Hi.
Yeah. I could have totally just come up with
speaking, you would each be 1/3 because American is an accent.
Yes, I did mean to see non-American accents.
Damn.
Look, Americans have such a bad accent that it doesn't even count. No one's been like, I really like that American accent. That's never been said.
I don't know, like cowboy accents and stuff.
That's not attractive to anyone.
I don't know.
I feel like it's attractive to a lot of people.
Well, okay, probably. But to me, I've lived in Montana, and I don't know, cowboy hats are really irritating to me. Like, when I went to Japan, and there were ads of Japanese people with cowboy hats, I'm like, really? Really? Because they have no idea. They have no context to this. They're just like, let's put cowboy hats on it. It'll look cool. Like, great. I'm Westerned out, in other words. This week, guys, we are continuing talking about Words of Brandon from FanX and, FanX. Because we have so much to blab about, and we're always on task on this show.
And we're going to do it all in accent. Yeehaw!
Welcome to Shardcast, the Brandon Sanderson podcast.
Oh my god.
Yeah, boss.
We're bringing you
well.
That wasn't a Western accent. That was just a voice that I've used before, and now it's on air, so you're welcome.
Now gather round, y'all.
Canton! We're bringing you the FanX Words of Brandon.
Okay, to start us off,
let's go.
The very first Word of Brandon.
Take us out, Ian.
Take us in,
Make it
technically.
So. Make it so, number one.
Make it so.
Will Kaladin ever get a lover? To which Brandon RAFOs. Because he doesn't want to answer at this point.
Of course he's going to raffle.
Obviously.
The questioner says, I feel bad about him sometimes. Brandon's like, you're allowed to feel bad for Kaladin. Questioners, does he want to find someone to love? Brandon, yes, he does. But Kaladin is also his own worst enemy sometimes.
Get wrecked. Yeah. That is a sick burn, Brandon. Love it.
It's okay.
Oh, man.
Book 4. Shaladin's gonna happen.
Ooh.
The Triangle Reborn.
A dislike ratio
that's
just
the name.
got.
I feel
That's
like
the name
half
of book
the
4.
fandom would literally murder Brandon at that point.
Yeah.
But the other half,
which half
will defend him to death.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Look, Tara
That's
is
the
in
name.
Earther,
That's
guys.
the name of book 4, The Triangle Reborn, and because it's about the Ghost Bloods and the Triangle symbol. Oh my god!
And it's where Honor will come back, and the 3 shards will be there, and it's a triangle.
I think Kaladin's gonna end up with that Argent from that village near Hearthstone.
I don't think so. She wasn't even named, was she?
Definitely.
It's too early.
I can't remember their name.
So I have a fondness for the
May Aladar.
No. The woman who
That's the other
handled the horses and she had a whole
Oh,
big
Words
thing.
of Radiance?
Horses are discussed in Arts and Majesty, so women can do it.
Right.
I don't remember her name.
Oh yeah.
Janet.
Yeah, right.
Janet, yes.
She's great. I love her.
Wait, there's a
It's
Janet.
she's a horse person. He hates horses. Come on, they're perfect for each other.
I don't think it's spelled like Janet.
It is.
Is it?
I think it's Jeanette, Genet.
That's Janet.
To make me feel better in my head, I've been saying Janet. but it's Janet.
There's some great fan art of Jeanette. That's great.
I love it.
Awesome. Well done,
That's
Jeanette.
quality. Thanks, user Firebeam. Next Word of Brandon. We're on task with this today.
My favorite's on Rushu because I want Rushu to find love. Carry on. Let's go.
It's very subtle, but at the end of Oathbringer, when Yasna goes to find Shallan on the battlefield, she goes to grab Shallan, but Shallan's over here as Radiant. So it's when Shallan is doing she's hugging herself, and Veil and Radiant are out there as illusions and they're holding hands. Yasna grabs an illusion and the illusion puffs away. And then the important part of the question is inaudible in here, but it sounds like the questioner might be trying to get at, and this is my guess, to get at whether this manifestation of multiple versions of Shallan is how Shardplate works or manifests. Maybe, my guess. Because Brandon says, that's a read and find out. I'm very coy on Shardplate, even though you have seen characters with it in the books before, because I want to wait until I can do some reveals in Viewpoint character. I'll
with
tell
Kaladin, presumably.
yeah, sure. Unless he goes sad again. I will tell you this. You have indeed seen people with Shardplate multiple times in the books. Or at least the soon aftermath of someone.
Well, I mean, there's only one scenario where that's really obvious.
Right, so a popular, or at least a well-known theory is that towards the end of the battle for Thaylen Fields, Adolin is running through the city trying to find Renarin, I believe, and he sees a couple of, is it singers or
it's normal
fused?
Soldiers.
Or soldiers.
Amaran soldiers, yeah.
Sure. He sees a couple of them just fly out like a giant monster has thrown them. And he rounds the corner and he sees Yasna just hanging out there, looking queenly and poised.
She's not queen yet.
But she looks
But
queenly.
she still looks queenly.
And she
but you're
has geometric shapes puff
there
out
are
around her.
Geometric shapes disappearing into thin air around her. And so a lot of people think that this is her dismissing her Shardplate.
Yeah.
And so this may be the soon aftermath.
Yeah.
That Brandon is referring
Solid
to.
theory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think what the questioner meant with that question is specifically about how Yasna goes to grab Shallan when she's got Radiant and Veil hanging out nearby, and Shallan's the illusion, and it turns out Radiant, who we think is an illusion wearing Shardplate, is actually Shallan.
Oh, does Radiant have plate?
Yes.
Yes, she does.
I believe
that point in
Crimson
time.
Plate. I believe it's described as.
Interesting.
Yes.
I need to reread that.
I must have-
That was a little...
She has
It's
garnet
it's
plate.
Garnet Plate.
Oh, Garnet Plate.
I must have glanced over that. Yeah, I guess
It's a single
then-
line. Yeah.
Sure. And then I guess the question is, well, is this actual plate?
Mhm.
Cool.
I mean, realistically, we're waiting for Kaladin to get his butt together to swear the fourth ideal. I feel like that's definitely what that is.
Gotta
right?
let people go, Kaladin.
I know. Well, pretty much. And I don't think we'll see Kaladin being as sad. Like, that was after Kholinar. Kaladin,
Oh no, he was in a bad spot.
we're not going to see Kaladin worse. It's got to be in book 4 that we get Shard.
And I mean, and he was also
for
obviously
sure.
trying to force the plate, right? Well, not the plate, but the
That's-
surge of power. He was going,
Yeah.
hey, I've noticed that in the past, whenever I swear an oath, I get power. I need power.
But he can't do it.
I'm not.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's got to be book 4 at this stage.
Agreed.
So the next one is just a confirmation of is Ravenna hunting Zahel, and Brandon says yes. And yeah, good to get that confirmed.
And
Doesn't mean she's not hunting Nightblood as well.
yeah, I think she's hunting both.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yep.
So that's nice to know.
So this next one asks about which are the next prologue characters. And Brandon says Gavilar is last, so he's not fourth. And Brandon thinks it's Navani, but he's not 100% sure. And then he's like, yeah, I think it's Navani, but I will have to look at what I've got in my notes. If the fourth one's been the wild card, I always went with Szeth first and Gavilar last.
Which people have been theorizing, book 5 is going to be Gavilar for
I
ages.
love that it's confirmed.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was into the idea of we're getting one of the heralds, like maybe Kalak or Ishar.
Whoa!
Yeah, and
I
so
don't know about that.
yeah, I know that would
Whoa.
be pretty.
I mean-
so that would be so major. That would then be book 5, and Gavilar would be pushed to book 4, kind of thing. But if Gavilar is book 5, then I don't think we'll be getting a herald in this first half.
I do like the symmetry of having the assassin in 1 and the assassin in 5.
Is that a word?
Daddy.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Okay.
Let's find out.
So one of the other possibilities I've
That
proposed
is not a word.
over the years is Elhokar. Nale and Kalak were his guests. So
Right.
it's like he could shed light on them.
Were they his guests?
I believe so.
They were talking with him.
I've always been a big proponent of Down Our Drunk Passed Out prologue. As a
There's
joke.
just 17 pages of just ink.
But realistically, each prologue we've gotten more about what Gavilar is doing, and like that'll be very interesting to see what Navani knows about this.
Yeah.
and what she doesn't.
How much she knows is very interesting.
Because again, as we talked about on Kholin podcasts, we don't really know too much about Navani and Gavilar's actual relationship. So
No.
like that's I love that idea. I think that's great. And Gavilar, when we have Gavilar being the prologue, we're gonna learn. We're gonna get the whole
So we're going to get
Right.
the whole
Yeah.
thing there, yeah.
Right.
the whole
with-
thing.
with-
And that'll be great.
Yeah. One interesting thing is, do we know anything about what Navani has been doing at the feast?
Nope. I looked
Nope.
into this previously, and after we first saw this wob, and she's only ever mentioned in passing. We
Right.
have literally no idea what she's up to during
Right.
these.
There's so many things she could be doing.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I'm really excited about this.
Do we know whether she was, or whether she could be one of the women that Eshonai sees in the room with Gavilar?
I was just thinking that. I don't think so, because Eshonai was able to recognize the Gavilar as the king, so I reckon she would be able to recognize Navani as the
As
queen.
the queen. Yeah,
Yeah, I
guess
was-
so.
Yeah.
But Gavilar was out there in the fields when they met. This is the first time Eshonai has come to Kholinar.
Ooh, that's a good point. That is
So-
a very good
Oh,
point.
yeah.
Unless the queen was with the king on a hunt.
Which
Well, they
she
usually
wouldn't be.
have them for. Well, they do bring women
Scribes.
as scribes.
Yeah.
So, like, that's not you. There are logistical benefits for that.
I don't think the
Yeah.
queen and the queen would leave the city for.
Well,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah,
certainly
because
true.
that's why
Yeah.
Isidon is in Kholinar. Like, she's running
certainly
Alethkar.
true.
Yes.
So I
certainly
think
true.
I think when we get the prologue for book 4, it's going to be about what Navani is doing with the women. I think she's going to end up being one of the women on that meeting, and then we're going to see what else they were doing. Or maybe we're going to see another perspective on that meeting, like maybe starting earlier and then transitioning into Eshonai showing up.
I don't
I
like
don't-
that idea, because that would mean Navani's a son of honor, and I don't like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
idea.
It's like, I don't think she would be party to that. Like, just from her personality,
Yeah.
like, she would not be okay. We are going to get a little bit more about the meetings, but from, like, another outside perspective. Like, she knows it's going on, but, like, she's not part of it.
Sure.
Man, that'll be such an interesting dynamic with Navani and Gavilar.
Mhm.
I'm really hyped about that.
So this next one is about one of my favorite topics. The Dawnshards.
Roshar?
Ooh, yes.
This is another meme right here, like at this stage.
Have we seen
Grenade.
any evidence of them on Roshar yet? Brandon, technically, yes.
Thanks, Brandon.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
there a relationship between them and, say, like, the perfect gems like the King's Drop? Brandon, I'll RAFO that. Good question.
Technically, yes, they're both in the Cosmere.
No, it's like, have we seen evidence of them on Roshar yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We spent 2 books with people running around on the evidence of them.
Yeah.
That's if the Dawnshards shattered the Shattered Plains, because we still don't know what shattered the Shattered Plains. That's
Nope.
still a mystery that
Nope.
we've had since Way of Kings.
Or if
Yeah.
the Dawnshards were unmade into the unmade.
Yeah. Then we definitely
Yeah.
definitely would have seen evidence of them.
But it's
Yeah.
only technically because they're not the Dawnshards anymore.
All right. I still don't like that the Dawnshards became unmade theory.
Yeah,
but
I don't like it.
yeah.
At this
Cool.
point, I'm not 100% convinced anymore, but I would love it if it was true, just to prove
Just
Eric wrong.
doing more of these, like the last episode we're talking about cultivation light and more terminology with the storms. It's just mind-bogglingly how much we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Like, it's crazy. And so, good world building, Brandon. That's all I'll say. Like, top tier, if he can keep surprising us.
Yeah.
Cool.
Why don't we move on to the next one then and
Yes.
talk about Szeth? And it's a short question. It goes like, Szeth has trained with all 10 surges. Is he going to also help train new Radiants? And Brandon's like, yeah, you can expect something like that to happen. It would make sense. Obligatory reminder, this book 4 happens at least several months, maybe a year after the events of book 3. So we're probably going to be skipping a lot of that training montage.
Which is an advantage, but there's still like...
How is that going to work?
Yeah, I know. I'm sure it will make sense when we read it, but I'm still just like, what?
Yeah.
It feels like certain things need to be addressed like right now.
Yeah. Like,
But I do like that. Oh yeah, Szeth will actually be able to be a source of help for the Radiants who like don't know what the crap's going on. So good, thank you. That's really good.
God, it's I just
How everyone's comfortable with that as is like, I'm the assassin and I'm your professor today.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how to kill a king.
Yeah.
How to kill a king 101
Step
and
1.
102.
Wear white. So the next question.
This is hilarious.
So in Oathbringer, you said that Hoid still has a god worshipping him. Can you give some backstory to that? Brandon says, I cannot. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to. Questioner says, will it be revealed later? Brandon says, maybe. I plan to get all of this stuff eventually into his memoir when he writes it, or when I write his memoir for him.
I completely forgot that Dragonsteel was like going to be this frame story thing. I don't remember that at all.
I mean, he's mentioned it like once or twice maybe, and it's been in passing in both cases, and it's never had like a massive impact on how we think about Dragonsteel, I don't think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just forgot this.
You forget everything, Eric.
Well, that's true. I honestly don't even remember the part where Hoid said there's a god still worships him.
It's in
I don't
when he
remember
is talking to Shallan, and he's
Oh.
like, oh, hey, you got the back of the head. Good. Most people forget about that, I think.
Yes. When she thinks he might be a herald.
Mm-hmm.
I love this next one too. For Brandon is top tier at trolling, and I don't know.
If you listen to the audio, you may hear the sound of a mic dropping.
Questioner, is there a reason with 16 being such an important number that there are only 10 orders of radiance? Brandon, that is relevant. Questioner, am I going to have to read and find out? Brandon, let's just say 10 is a number that is relevant to Roshar and its inhabitants. And what's the significance of number 10? Of the number 10? Brandon, the significance is that it is very significant. Questioner, will we find out by reading it? Brandon, maybe. That's why you're getting a RAFO. Potentially. Top tier. Love it.
Yep.
I don't know if there's anything to discuss, but yeah.
Brandon, I will not commit to a single answer, Sanderson.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. Like, why would he say, things about the number 10? Like, obviously that's important somehow.
I know, I always kind of figured it was just, this is Roshar's 10-centric, and that's just a thing that was Adonisia made it that way. So, like, yeah. But I guess maybe it is.
Read that back to me again. Read that back to me again there, Ben.
Adonalsium.
Wow, that was a lot of effort there for you.
Yeah, I figured, I don't know, there's 10
something
giants.
others' purposes.
Yes. So, questioner asks, we know the Moon Scepter helps to change identity and or of investiture, which technically we do not know that. We know that it acts as a Rosetta Stone for Selch magics.
Yeah.
Getting back. So in the case of Raoden using the inaudible, Elancians off-planet, would the Moon Scepter allow them to... Brandon, so the Moon Scepter is part of a key that they are trying to figure out how to do this. Because Elancian magic can be really powerful. All of the Selch magics can be really powerful. Because they are drawing from the door the way that they do. You're basically hooked up to a giant battery. So none of the other Cosmere magics that you've seen have that level going on. The closest you're going to get is when you've got a bondsmith powering the magic for the Knight's Radiant. cracking how to make that work on other planets is a really important thing that people are trying to figure out.
I really like this warp. Firstly, because Elantrians are OP. They are, we know they work out how to get off Cell with their magics, and they are just pretty much
yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
we know. With
the Eyrie,
yeah.
Right.
And like they're just OP as hell, and yeah. The only thing that comes close is a bondsmith powering the magic for the Knights Radiant, which I assume he's referring to the kind of the mega illusion that Shallan made in Oathbringer Part 1. Because
maybe
I thought it was about summoning the perpendicularity and that crazy level of power.
Yeah,
like that's what I thought.
But
there, like
the
giant battery.
Yeah, the interesting thing there is that the implication here is that any bondsmith could do it, which is not what we've said on previous podcasts. Because we think it's more a function of him being de facto honor that he can do that.
Oh, I guess that's true. That is actually interesting. But that could just be Brandon being imprecise in his wording. Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be.
And trying to elude spoilers.
Yeah. Maybe.
So something to keep on the radar, but not necessarily super new knowledge. The one thing I just thought of was that the door is like a giant battery, is what Brandon says, and that somehow immediately made me think of heralds. And so I wonder whether an Elantrian on Cell in the country, well, an Elantrian, a Cellish magic user on Cell, whether they are comparable to a herald when they're being powered by honor.
That's an interesting idea.
Now, I don't think they are exactly the same level, right? Because Roshar had only 10 heralds, and Cell has thousands of magic practitioners.
And Elantrians are a lot more flexible, of course.
Yeah.
Than, like a herald and how they can apply that power. But yeah, I like that comparison.
So it feels like the heralds maybe are getting more power at any point of, like, they're getting the full, like, fire hose of honor's power. But that's similar to Elantrians who are only getting a trickle, well, not a trickle, but like a stream all the time. But both of them have access to this near infinite power source.
It's also like a lend, or Vin powering a lend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I would say Elend at that point is closer to a herald than Elantrians are on any day of the week.
Yeah, that's fair, I think. I mean, Elend's basically like Vin's herald, and that's
right, yeah.
Like,
he's Vin's champion, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. Yeah. So that's one of the nicer wobs.
Yeah.
And now, leaving the Cosmere, maybe, we don't know.
Definitely.
Is there any possibility of a Legion television show? Welcome to Memecast. Brandon says that they, being Dragonsteel, have sold the rights to a company called Cineflex in Canada, and they're trying to develop a show right now. Hopefully it turns out all right. They would probably have to change the title, because Marvel also came out with a Legion television show, which, in my personal opinion, by the way, it's a pretty solid show. Cool. So they might end up calling it Leads or something similar. And then the questioner follows up with a question about Snapshot and TV/movie adaptation, to which Brandon says it is still at MGM. They have a really sharp screenplay that I love. Best screenplay based on my work that anyone has ever turned in. I'm really, really excited and hopeful for that one. But there is no green light, so who knows?
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Woo. Snapshot.
I think Snapshot.
Did you not like Snapshot?
No.
Oh, right.
I really liked Snapshot.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought the idea of like the snapshot and a snapshot and a snapshot, spoilers for Snapshot, by the way, was by far the most interesting part. And I have a feeling that any script we see or any movie about will simply use the idea and be almost completely different.
I would be happy with that.
Yeah.
It's almost like one of Brandon's biggest strengths is the world building.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as they keep the soul of that world building element, there's so many different ways you can do about that. Yeah. And if it's really sharp, if Brandon's excited, it's probably good.
I mean, honestly,
But I
you
mean,
can,
who know what that?
you can make like a TV detective procedural type of thing that has nothing to do with the actual plot of Snapshot, and you just set it in the same world with the same world building.
Pretty much.
And I think you'd have a great show.
And like a Legion show would obviously be very different, but as we were kind of discussing in our Legion episode, I think it'd be better as a show, like in a lot of scenarios. Like it doesn't even need to have the events of the first Legion and Skin Deep. Kind of need that last one though, eventually, kinda. But like you can take those tools in your toolbox and build something different with that there. And so that's kind of what makes the non-Cosmere more flexible than the Cosmere stuff, because you have a lot more to do there.
And I was just going to say, maybe that's why some people don't like the non-Cosmere as much. Well, obviously there are many reasons you would like the Cosmere better, but
of course,
one of them I think is you can't do something like that with Stormlight or Mistborn or Warbreak. Like you can't just take the world and build like a TV show or a movie that has nothing to do with the plot of the books, because the plot of those books is so powerful.
Yeah. And it's so connected with the world building, which is why we like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so this next one. The question asks, has Hoid collected, and then paraphrase like he does, the Spren, or... And then Brandon says he has legitimately bonded the Spren. Let's just say he has given up on trying to cheat some of the systems and has decided to try and play by the rules. So I think the question was just asking, like, was he fooling around, or did he like legitimately get that Spren?
Did he just pocket the cryptic?
Yeah.
And that connects right with this next word of Brandon, also by Stormlightning. Hey again.
Good job.
And Stormlightning asks if Hoid could have picked any order of Knights Radiant, regardless of oaths he had to swear, just the powers, would he have picked Lightweaver? Brandon said yes. And Brandon said, Lightweaving matches him very well. He's quite familiar and experienced with it. He's very good at using it, and he likes it. It's the fulfillment of a long, long quest of his to finally get access. Finally get full access to Lightweaving. Stormlightning, even though he had some sort of Lightweaving, Brandon, he did have some sort, yes. He's a very, very happy Hoid.
Aww.
I like this.
Yeah.
Full access to Lightweaving? What?
Yeah, that's a very interesting way of phrasing things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the important question here is whether the phrase full access to Lightweaving can be said in the same way in world as Brandon says it out of world.
Yeah, like, does that mean that Hoid's Lightweaving, when he first got it, is kind of a lesser version of the Lightweaving that Roshar has? Or is it a
compliment?
Different? Or a compliment, yeah.
I don't really know what's going on with...
Well, it could be that his Lightweaving would have been pre-Shattering Lightweaving, I would think.
And was it...
Presumably?
Yes. And was it changed by the Shattering?
Possibly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I feel like it would be like smaller in scope. Because I feel like a lot of things were smaller in scope before the Shattering.
Yeah, so I would say so.
The way I've always said it, because the only times we've ever seen Hoid's Lightweaving on screen, he is manipulating something like smoke or dust or
other people's Stormlight.
Or other people's Stormlight illusions. And so I think his Lightweaving and Yolish Lightweaving is all about manipulating what's already there. And obviously with Roshar and Lightweaving, he's now able to put stuff out in the world to manipulate himself in the form of Stormlight, like, and create his own illusions to manipulate himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't
make his disguises a lot easier because I guess if he doesn't have Lightweaving to the level that Shallan does, because Shallan can just make herself a new face, and Hoid doesn't do that.
He doesn't. He's got a lot more skill, but she has a lot more power.
Oh no, guys, it's going to be so much harder to find when Hoid is in the story, because now he has full Lightweaving. No!
Everyone is suspect.
I feel like Hoid, being Hoid, will still be obvious.
Yeah, he'll still
Well, in some scenarios, but if he wants to be, he can, like, legit be really undercover now if he wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Hoid's entire
Brandon being
quest.
Brandon, there would be, like,
Well, yeah.
oh, hey, like, it would slip at, like, some minute point and we would be able to pick up on it.
Maybe.
Hoid's entire quest has been to hide from us.
Brandon in the background. I'm sick of these people asking these questions. I gotta make Hoid's disguises a lot better. No, just kidding. But I do really like the idea that it's the matter of pre-shattering magics were smaller in scale. Like
You're
there's
not
just
gonna get
no
a
way you
Mistborn.
have radiant levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like that seems very natural. And
So this next one talks about how much breath would it take to invest a regular object so that a Shardblade couldn't cut it. Brandon's like, I'd have to look at the notes. And then he goes on to discuss about how like they're trying to actually work out the math and codify what are the units of investiture, stuff like that. So eventually we'll probably get that sort of thing, but it just doesn't exist at this point.
I hope that Brandon never reveals that math to any of us. See, like, seriously, I don't think there have been people on the site and Discord who are like, I want to see the equations. And first of all, I know Brandon is not a math person because that's why he switched from chemistry. Straight up. He is not a math person. But I mean, the story should come first, but like maybe there could be an answer, but I kind of don't want Brandon to tell us what that threshold is. Like maybe they should know what that threshold is, but never tell us.
Yeah,
Ever.
kind of give us
Never
a
have
good
an
idea.
object.
Because no matter what they do for codifying the math, there would be someone who has much more time than any of them. And if they ever saw equations or units, they would find an issue with it. And if you make it more vague, then you don't have those problems.
Well,
Yeah, 'cause
doesn't he say, he said before when he's doing things like when the Radiants are using Stormlight, where he basically just writes them doing whatever they can and then kind of gives it off to Peter and says, hey, you just work out how many spheres they have to have on them.
Basically.
Yeah. So it would be a case of he would still have story first, and then he would be like, hey, whoever's in charge of, making the math for Investiture, pick the right numbers, put them in here.
I know.
One of the big problems with this is that it's like if he ever comes up with a definitive answer or equation or conversion ratio or whatever, it is something that's going to have to work backwards as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the books so far are not necessarily written with that. I mean, they're not written with that in mind because there's no answer right now.
Mhm.
And so, like, maybe he can come up with something that if it doesn't fit exactly, it fits well enough so that people going back can go, well, this object can be cut by Shardblade and this one can't, and this one has this much investiture and this one has this much. And if the threshold is here, then this one has a little bit more, this one has a bit with less. We can't pinpoint an exact contradiction.
Yeah.
But I'm one of the people who have always wanted some kind of answer to, well, one breath is this many diamond chips, and
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And
you get this much diamond chips out of 10 grams of steel, things like that.
Brandon, obviously, Stormlight and Warbreaker are very connected, so I'm sure that is more central to that,
And-
rather than like trying to make Mistborn fit in that right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
And actually, bringing up Warbreaker, I think in the past, Brandon has said that he may use breath as kind of a unifying unit for investiture, just because it's a very uniform and it's a significant enough chunk of investiture so that you can talk about sensible things like radiant flying off
Yeah.
in terms of breaths.
I was going to say, in terms of as well, getting Mistborn to work with a system of like unified investiture unit of measurement. Mistborn's really easy because the metal isn't actually the investiture you're getting. You're getting investiture from preservation. So basically, whatever amount of investiture
Yeah.
is needed to do things in Mistborn, Brenna can just say, oh, well, then when you burn the metal, preservation
No,
gives you
the
that
hard
amount.
part's the ferrochemy and hemalurgy part, not the allomancy part.
Oh, yeah.
The ferrochemy, how much do you need to store into a metal mind for people to not push on it?
Oh, yeah.
That's harder.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
Like, That's quite a bit harder. How invested would the hemalurgic spike be? And now I'm like, oh, my brain hurts. Let's move on to the next question.
Yep.
Kind of.
We're gonna move on from Investiture and talk about Investiture.
Welcome to Investiture Cast. You're very invested in this.
Hey, welcome to Meme Cast. But if you infused a ruby and split it into 3 or more pieces, would you be able to create a group chat span read? Asks presumably Jasna Kholin, Queen of Alethkar. This has
I feel
been
like
attempted.
it would be Navani asking that question.
Yeah, it would be Navani, not
Also Queen of Alethkar.
Jasna came up with the group chat feature in Oathbringer.
She did.
Or at least she
hacked
was using
a
it.
group chat. Like,
Well, she just paid
How
some
did that
people
work
in.
again?
What's it called? Where is it? Asia?
Like three pairs of.
Yeah.
Oh, that
She didn't come up
God,
with
that's
it. She
how
probably
they did
just
that.
asked someone in Asia, "Hey, have you ever guys worked out how to do multiple people?"
It
It's
would've been
something she would
Tashik.
be interested in.
Tashik, sorry, yeah.
Go away, pedantic cast.
No.
the Tashiki would be very angry with Ben about him calling them Azir.
That's true. They would.
Would they though? They're practical people. They might be willing to accept the slight if he just pays them.
I mean, that's true.
True.
To which Brandon
Anyway.
responds,
Yes.
"This has been attempted so far unsuccessfully. Good question. It is very possible in the magic system. I've always felt," continues the questioner, "that this was related to quantum entanglement in the part of where, is this part of where you got the idea from?" And this is more of a world-building answer from Brandon, where he says, absolutely. I mean, I know that's not how quantum entanglement actually works, but the magic
you.
systems, all of the Stormlight grew out of my interest in fundamental forces. We are several magical steps removed from the actual science in each of these cases, but that was the origin for all of those magics. The quantum entanglement fascinates me, particularly the way that we think things should work and find out they don't.
Feel like with the Fabrials, like span reads are so focused on the pair, like you lift one up, lift one down, that if you try and make a group chat one, you would just get a lot of, like, if one person's lifting it up and you manage to pair 3 things together, one person's lifts it up and the other person lifts it up at the same time, you'll just get nonsense. Like,
Well,
even if you could do that, but I don't know.
I mean, that's the same thing with a normal span read. Like, one person writes and the other,
Yeah.
like, in order for the span read to work, you need to leave your pen in the holder,
yeah, I guess that's true.
and then both of them get lifted up.
Oh,
One of them
sure.
writes, the other one mimics the movement. And so it's just a matter of
Gotcha.
entangling multiple
Okay, yeah, you're right.
pens.
But it's good to know that it is possible to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
The real answer is Fabrials will do whatever Brandon needs them to do, right? Because it's
Yeah.
so broad.
Mhm.
But yeah. But it will be cool to see more of.
Cool. So moving on. The next one is about from Stormlightning again. This person was very busy.
How many questions does this guy get?
I know, right?
He could A+, but I mean,
They're
there
good
were a
questions.
lot of different events at FanX. So
Okay.
it wasn't like just one signing
like panels.
line.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like 8 hours of signings. So,
Yeah, and different ones.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
Good job.
Well,
Well,
8
good
hours
job.
over 3 days. So,
A+ Stormlightning. You're featured in this one.
Yes.
I
This
love this one. though.
question is there a set number of Dawnshards? To which
Yes,
Brandon
9.
says, yes. Are you willing to say? And Brandon says, no.
because it's 9.
Stormlightning says, are you willing to say if they originated in the Risharan system? And Brandon says, I am not willing to say.
I can just see his smirk right now.
Oh, yeah.
I can feel his smirk upon saying this. He's like, I'm not willing to say.
So, yeah. Ian, you think there's 9?
Yes, because there are 9 unmade.
Yeah, he subscribes to that quote-unquote theory.
I
subscribe-
originated that theory.
I subscribe to Underground and Amia. Easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easy. 10 out of 10.
Why not
Flawless.
both? That could be where Diconarthus is.
Maybe that's where Ba'ida Mishram is. Look, all I want to see is Ba'ida Mishram on screen. I don't care if she's a Dawnshard or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I care about. And then another one from Stormlightning. Do the Natan people live longer than normal humans because they have Amian blood? Brandon. Yes, let's say you're theorizing in a good direction.
This one will be talking about the Seer aliens.
This one is talking about the Sia,
Yeah.
Yes,
the humanish ones.
the not the
Yes.
pile of bug ones.
Correct.
Yes,
We'll talk about the pile of bug ones in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's so hard because
so-
we're recording this as the Legion stuff's being transcribed, so it's like, I want to say other.
So one thing I was wondering as I was reading this is what if the connection goes the other way? What if the Sia came from Natanz and were obviously further. So the Natanz were already weird to begin with because their queen slept with the moon or something.
Yeah, that's an entirely historical way to state that. That's right.
Look, there's a whole story about it. Go read it.
No, that's
Sa.
true. No, yeah, that's right.
What if the Sia Amians are they take this weirdness and they go even further, and
Well-
that's why they are related. It's not that the Natans have Amian blood; it's the Amians have Natan blood.
Well, since the Soleil also have Amian blood, I think it's the Natan are weird because
They
I'm pretty sure that's confirmed.
Soleil no, I don't know about.
They have the weird
I've never
skin
heard that.
ripples.
Oh, I don't remember if we've had that confirmed or not, but I'll trust your judgment.
Okay.
As for you,
I want to say, or at least it's been phrased in a question that way, and Brennan didn't explicitly say, no, Soleil don't have Amian blood or something. But I'm thinking that, the queen slept with the moon is actually the queen slept with an Amian. That's where the blue skin comes
I
from.
don't realistically think that story is historically accurate. No, with the moons.
Look, you're just assuming things about the anatomy of
moons.
Nomon.
Do you assume that moon's gender?
Well, no, Nomon is definitely described as male.
By other people. Well, no, okay. No, it's easy to
By his sister. Okay, so this next questioner asks, when did Shallan say the first oath? Brandon,
Ooh.
that's been quite a while. She's been on this path longer than almost anybody. Yasna's been going for a while. If you look at the timeline, I think Yasna beats her, but she's been on this path for years. Questioner, do we get to find out when she took that first oath? Brendan, yes, I'm planning to delve into that. It's supposed to be a wait, what? I'd have to look exactly at the timeline. Yasna meets her. Yasna definitely meets her. Questioner 2
beats
asks...
her? Beats her, not meets her.
Yes, Yasna definitely beats her. Question
Yasna?
2.
You,
Come
You
on!
said meets. You said meets twice.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be beats. Questioner 2. Are you sure? Brandon, maybe not. I'd have to look at the timelines. This is why I have Karen to keep my timelines for me.
Shallan, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
at least, so Yasna's been there for at least 6 years.
Right.
A little over 6 years relative to the beginning of the Way of Kings, right? Because around the time of the feast and Gavilar's death, she's been having those weird shadow experiences for several months, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we are probably looking at no more than 7 years at this point.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, we have a rough idea of when Yasna started getting her powers kind of thing, so we should have a rough idea of how old Shallan was when she was doing that.
Shallan killed her mother around the same time, within a month or two of Gavilar being killed, based on timelines. And so it's she's already at the point where she can summon Shardplates. It's but again, Lightweaver progression is different than other Radiants, so
Yeah.
Who knows how that works?
My other question is, and it's going to be always whenever he talks about Shallan's backstory. When are we going to find out this information? We've already had Shallan's book. What?
But we also got Kaladin flashbacks, in quotation marks, in Oathbringer. So
Yeah, but it was only a very short flashback, and
there were
I feel
3.
like you could fit it in so easily with more Ghostblood stuff where we actually know what her mom actually is doing.
Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely.
and then that triggers Shallan to remember a thing because she's repressed so much, or some crap like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty easy to fit in.
I don't know. Maybe her mum's Ash, and we'll find out in Ash's book.
Jeez.
I think
I know there are so many ways that's wrong. Don't worry.
Shallan is too pale skinned for that.
That's true.
No.
So
And
the fact
then
that Shallan's mother is dead.
no. They go on the top of Eritharu, and Shallan goes on a pole and is facing Shalash, who is wearing black armor. And then Shalash says, "No, I'm your mother."
Wow, it took me so long to realize where you're going.
And then
Shardplate.
Shallan says, "No," and then falls off Eritharu, and then Kaladin saves her.
Yeah.
And then they get together.
They definitely do not end up together. They find out they're secretly siblings, and most likely do not get together.
no.
But after they make out for a few times
Yeah,
I think they only kiss once.
they do.
No, twice.
on screen.
No,
Ugh.
don't they in Empire?
I don't think
Hasn't
so.
this come up multiple times on Shardcast at this stage?
Look, we need it.
At least in the pre-show. I don't know if it's aired twice.
It has
No,
not aired.
We've mentioned it so many times that I'm saying that Luke and Leia can now be valid characters in Who's That Cosmere Character. I'm saying that now.
With Bilbo
With Bilbo.
With Bilbo and Smaug.
Yep.
and Smaug. Yes, of course.
But that's the same character.
Right, yeah. Excuse me.
Right.
I just want to thank you all for not saying Smaug like the Hobbit movies. Because, no, it's Smaug.
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 Anyway,
Uh-huh. You didn't like my Star Wars reference?
I did. I laughed
I
at it.
am your mother.
as Ash soulcast some air into lightning.
Oh, and then later, they go to Scadrial and dump the One Ring into an Ash Mount. Easy.
And then Ash.
Technically, the Ash Mounts no longer exist at that point in time.
The
And
One
then-
Ring is a
Look,
Fabrial.
they went back in time through a perpendicularity through the spiritual realm, because everything's connected through the spiritual realm, and then they do that. It's really important.
And then Ash falls off something really high, and Ash fell from the sky.
Ash fell from the sky. Yep.
It's going to happen. I will. No, I'm not going to put a bet on this. This doesn't work out for me when I bet on things. But I can always guarantee Ash will fall off something in Stormlight Archive, and we will get the line "Ash fell from the sky." I will.
Can someone
in
please write a fanfic where you rationalize Ash going to Final Empire Scadrial and she falls from the sky?
Yep.
Please, someone do that.
Word replace every instance of Ash in the Mistborn series with Shalash.
and see how it goes from there.
See how it goes.
They broomed the Shalash off the streets.
It's just
That just sounds wrong.
No. Just replace all incidents of Ash with Shalash. And all the Scar having to sweep all the Shalashes off the street.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Next word of Brandon.
Oh, next question reads, have we seen hemorrhagy used anywhere other than Scadrial? And Brandon says, I believe you have. Let's do that as...
That voice. What voice was that for Brandon?
I believe you have.
That's... Okay.
Look, we were going to do accents and then we didn't do accents and I felt like maybe we can do a voice.
I don't know if I'm comfortable just assigning different voices to Brandon for words of Brandon. Maybe we can assign weird voices to questioners. Maybe.
Okay.
But,
anyway, Brandon...
This is... Oh, yeah.
Brandon believes we've seen hemorrhagy outside of Scadrial.
This is less explicit than he said before.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is probably
He said-
Brennan doesn't remember.
Yeah.
Or backpedaling or
Yeah.
whatever.
So I wouldn't read too much into it. We also know there are other and negative magic systems that I think we have seen hints of.
Wait, what? We have? What? Really?
Arcanum Break. Arcanum Unbound at San Francisco. Harold asks, have we seen any of the system or the world that has end negative magic system other than hemorrhagy? Yes, there is one more end negative magic system, and you have seen minor hints of it.
Okay, so one more. That's interesting. I completely missed that.
a year and a half earlier, he raffled me on whether we have seen the system or the world it is in.
Spicy.
And I was like, raffle? As in literal raffle? Question mark. Literal raffle, says Brandon.
I'm going to take this time
Hashtag.
to have a little rant about end positive, end neutral, and end negative. These were connotations that were built exactly to describe the metallic arts and the trichotomy, I guess, of how those interact and how the investiture is used in them.
Trichotomy?
I don't know
Yeah,
what
it's a good word.
dichotomy
I
would-
like it.
Yeah,
Is that a word?
I don't know what the dichotomy, but for three things is.
It's fine.
I don't see anything wrong with
Oh,
trichotomy.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, assassin
And so-
is not a word.
And so, because they were built specifically to describe the three systems before the Cosmere even existed, I don't think the phrase end positive, end neutral, end negative actually mean anything. I don't care if a magic system's end positive, end neutral, or end negative. Why do people care? I don't. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that, well, look, we know what it means in terms of, it means more investitures used making things, or you get investiture out of it, or you don't get investiture out of it. But further than that, I don't care.
I'm gonna stop this pointless rant because the existence of these terms is equivalent to the existence of the terms exothermic and endothermic reactions, as in they're things that people in world care about, and they serve the same purpose. They describe the relative state of energies or investitures in this case before and after an event happens.
I guess I could see why people in world would care, but I don't see why people care that much. Like, if we had confirmation that end negative systems are like evil, because like, you know,
Well, they're not evil, they're just rare.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just, when he says, there's an end negative systems out there, I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, there probably would be. I imagine. Yeah.
I don't know. I
don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing.
I am fundamentally interested in this one other end negative system.
But why?
I don't know.
Because they are rare.
Those are not common. Because they're rare. Because they're rare.
Okay.
It is.
Cool.
It is interesting. So one of the connections. So with hemalurgy being end negative and hemalurgy being associated with ruin, there is a connection, at least in our minds, that end negativity is associated with a shard whose intent is wasteful in some way.
I guess, but we only have 1 point of reference for that, and that's so we can't really theorize.
So another point of interest would be very interesting, wouldn't it, Penn?
It would be okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it would be interesting to know if the next end negative magic system we see is also with a shard who is not the nicest shard in the world.
Well, I just
a shard associated with
Destructive
reduction of something.
yeah. Anyway,
cool.
That's my run over. The next question we have is completely inaudible, but Brandon's answer is: cultivation and honor were with the Pashendi, odium came with the humans, and there was a bit of a reversal that happened there.
a bit
of a reversal.
It was just just a bit of a reversal. Yeah. No big deal. That's not like one of the most important things that's ever happened on Roshar or anything.
Yep.
A bit.
Like, it's just nice to get that confirmation, because I know some people were still a bit iffy about whether odium came with the humans to
Like
Roshar.
me.
There we
So
go.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Thanks, Brandon, for helping Ian, even though he's so unhappy with you on so many occasions.
It's relatively few. So that, like, when it does happen, I'm like, oh, Brandon, you have such a good record. Why do you do this to me?
Why did you say Shadesmar?
Why did you say Fabrials
No, I like Fabrials.
for
What's
other
the
magic
definition
deck?
of Fabrials?
Yes.
Oh, was it?
Nope, moving on. I don't want to get in that discussion again. That was too much. That was way too much.
Okay.
This next one, the questioner asks if Hoid had any love interests, and Brandon said several, and
That's an old
and that was
question.
in a signed book.
Mhm.
That was in an old Word of Brandon. And my follow-up question is, have we seen any of those in Audible? Brandon, they will show up in various books, but you have not seen them yet. They're inaudible.
They'll probably
Great.
show up in his memoirs, because we're getting those.
Yeah.
In other words, this question can be summarized with: have we seen any of those inaudible?
Yes,
They will
they're
show up in
inaudible,
various books. They are inaudible. Great, thank you.
which is great. But I mean, we haven't seen his love interests yet. Hoid could totally get down with people in the present time. I think that is perfectly in character for him to do.
Yeah.
So there could totally be contemporary lovers. I don't know.
I mean, how contemporary?
He's a-
Like, I don't see him
I don't know.
getting it on with like a 20 or 30-year-old.
Look, maybe he gets lonely, okay? I don't know.
I'm sure he does, but like,
I think-
they're kids to him.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how annoying it must be to date Hoid?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, that's why they're ex-lovers.
No, because he's a
Can we just
gold
go
mine of
through-
information.
Could we just get through one meal without you telling some story and getting everyone up and
Got
down?
another story at the dinner table.
Hoid, if you're listening, I will take you out on a date. Just, I'm okay.
I think it would be like a Doctor and River song sort of situation where it's,
Someone only
It's
as
kind
cracky
of-
as him kind of thing.
yeah, like who can like not speak to him on his own level, but like has an idea of what he's going through and is going through something not the same, but like analogous. Because
Sure,
like he's
that's-
way older than she is. Like,
Yeah.
That's an interesting
but, like-
comparison.
I just think if you're thousands of years old, I refuse to believe that you have gone thousands of years without like getting it on.
unless you're
Just saying.
asexual. Because
Well, no, but-
that's always
but
the
there
are-
reality.
There are plenty of people in the Cosmere who are long-lived. And not all of them are bugs in a trench coat.
Yeah, it's true.
Look, those bugs in a trench coat. They know how to have a good time.
Oh dear.
Look forward to a future Shardcast episode where we talk about the...
No. Wait, no, we are discussing that. Oh, well. Oh, praise.
That's a Shardcast after dark if I've ever heard one, ever.
You can only
Let's
listen
talk
to it
about
after 10 o'clock.
Yeah, all right. Next one. Last one, even.
Which is me. Hoid was at the shattering of Adonalsium? Brennan. He was there, yes. Questioner. Was he Adonalsium? Brennan. He was not. Good question.
Just, I mean, that's a confirmation, I guess.
It is.
Yes.
It was
That's
not
about it.
a very popular theory that Hoid was the remnant of Adonalsium or his vessel or something to that effect, but it is something that has popped up throughout the years.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
a very persistent theory
Yes.
that is
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
Permanently.
Brandon doesn't usually say no, except this one.
Yeah.
except
He was not.
except these
no.
14 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm picking a subset of these.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of, you can find all of these words of Brandon and more. We're just picking a small amount of them that we find interesting and are Cosmere significant usually, or hopefully interesting to you. But you can find these all on Arcanum, which is wob.coppermine.net. Boom. And you can always go help transcribe things as well. It's reasonably easy-ish.
As far as something like that can be easy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We tried to streamline the process as much as possible.
I'm just glad that people just don't have random Google Docs of random things and we can never find citations for things. That we all cite them here. We know where it happens. We know who said what, where it came from, and it's there. And it's not going away.
Mhm.
Thank frickin' Adonalsium. Or Hoid.
No,
But
not
only
Hoid.
one of those, because they're not one and the same.
Cool, guys.
So,
do you know what time it is?
Yeah. no.
It's Who's That Cosmere Character time.
Cosmere character.
That's not what we usually say on that. Usually we say it's time for Who's That Cosmere Character, not it's Who's That Cosmere Character time.
Oh, I do apologize. This is Who's That Cosmic Character, where you, the listeners, send in 5 clues and a character to who's that cosmic character at gmail.com. I will then read out the clues to the other Shardcasters with me here, and they will try and guess who the character is before they get to the 5th clue, and they lose. So, this first one was sent in by Saito Gaika.
Great.
Clue number 1. This character is female.
Not this again.
Well,
Bavadin.
It's not Bavadin.
Iole Sadius.
It's not Iole Sadius or Eli,
Wow.
sorry.
Welcome to last week, Hesina.
It is not Hesina.
People are like, did we do
I
this
guessed
again?
a different woman.
You
Female.
did. Why don't you meme, Ian? But hopefully we... well, I guess it'll be the next one after this, Deja Vu,
Yep.
where we guess things on the
All
first
right.
guess. So
Yep.
that's good.
The second clue is this character is on Nalthis.
Ooh, okay.
Edgley?
All right.
Damn it. Yep, it's Edgley.
Oh my god.
Guys, why are you picking vessels? Obviously, Ian's always going to guess the vessel on there. Obviously.
God, that's another one for Ian. Man. Right.
I almost went first guess
Vessels
too, but
are
I'm
too
like,
easy.
no, I'll go Bob.
Vessels are too easy. Don't do vessels.
Look, I was
if-
just excited we went to a different world.
Don't worry, the next one will be Rosharan for sure.
Yeah, statistically.
Statistically speaking.
So yeah, the clue number 3 was this character is a god. 4, without this character, Nightblood would not exist. And 5, Ian suspects this character is a dragon.
Oh god. I love
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, I bonus points for this clue for it being so Shardcast centric.
Yeah.
So I approve.
But it
I
could
do
have been
actually-
Edgley or Bobbidin, like
Yeah,
with
I
that clue.
I do appreciate that the question can also mean Shashara until the 5th clue.
Yes.
I like that Ash fell from the sky.
This character fell from the sky.
Yeah.
Ash.
Aluminum.
Well, I think we had one where it was one of the clues was this character's name is the first word of the final empire, and it was Ash.
No, but we
that would be,
had one of my favorite was this character is human.
Yeah, that was the classic.
Yeah.
Ben, everyone liked your clue on Aiden Alcium,
I enjoyed that.
but Matt
thoroughly.
didn't like that if you assumed he was a character.
I get to decide who is a valid character for who's that cosmic character, so I say they are a character.
Abuse of power. Impeach.
Next one.
Character number 2. This one was sent in by Aram Alexander. Clue number 1. This character died in battle.
Great.
Dachshund.
It is not Dox.
Elend.
It is not Elend.
Tanalan Jr.
It is not Tanalan Jr. Clue number 2. This character is not human.
Oh.
Oh, I so want to say human.
I know, I did too. Well, that's probably a singer then, right? Like, there's lots of singers who died in battle.
Eshonai.
It is not Eshonai.
I wouldn't say she
Okay.
died in battle.
Yeah, she died in that high storm after a battle.
She died in a ditch.
Yeah.
Get wrecked. Not human. Died in battle. Oh, no. Is it the Thunderclass they killed at the end of Oathbringer that I don't remember their names? Would that...
Kaigonis?
Yeah, is it
It is
not
Kaiganis. Who
Is it the other storm?
who wants to take
Thunderclass?
that one? I'm going to count that as a guess from the both of you. I think.
What? No, I was helping Eric.
Would a Thunderclass...
Okay.
Is this a Thunderclass?
It is not Kaiganis. And then
Is it a Thunderclass?
and then Evgeni, go on. You get another guess because you were just helping Eric.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
I'm not gonna guess
I
the other
appreciate
one.
Wasn't it like Yuresh for the other one?
Maybe.
Can I look that up? Yuresh? Do I have your permission, Overlord?
Okay, you can look up the name of the other Thunderclass.
I just want to see if it's Yuresh. No, it's not. I'm completely wrong.
Well, now I feel demoralized.
Oh, it did start with a Y though. It was Yusha. Well, that's the other Thunderclass.
I don't know.
I did cheat, with permission.
I'll forfeit my guess.
You gonna pass? Cool.
No, you should guess Yusha. Damn it.
Yeah, but like I don't feel this is not
Invested.
honorable.
You don't feel it in your bones.
No,
Clue
like
number.
I feel like I contributed to this additional
Yeah.
outpouring of
To the
information.
Kaiganis. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Clue number 3. This character is from Roshar.
God damn.
What? I mean, They all are. You can guess that.
I mean, look, statistically, I was completely correct.
Do you not want to guess Yuresh?
No, I don't. No, it wasn't Yuresh. It was Yusha, first of all. We just had this discussion.
Sure,
but no,
I
I think it's going to be a random singer. It's going to be a random singer that I don't remember their name. Or fused. Oh, wait.
Lady
Leshwi.
It is not Leshwi.
You could pick so many fused and they come back. They did die in battle. Oh my god. Easy. But it's not Leshwi.
Would you consider the heralds human?
I would consider the heralds human.
Okay. Good to know.
Oh, wait, damn it.
But it doesn't matter what Ben thinks. It's about the questioner.
But Ben has to approve the
Ben's the
questions.
judge.
I wouldn't pick
Ben's
it if
the
I thought
judge.
the clues were wrong. Yeah.
Shut up. I was giving you a chance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what Evgeni said. Yeah.
God, I don't know.
Doesn't it have to be a random singer who died?
Well, no one's guessed Yusha yet.
Fine, Yusha.
It is
You already
not
made
Yusha.
your guess, so it's
Oh,
like,
wait, yeah. Oh, crap. Yeah. Well, that's not
You're
Yusha
so
anyway.
bad.
I'm gonna throw you a bone.
Wait,
It's not Yusha.
did I?
okay.
Did I guess?
You guessed Leshwi.
Yeah.
Oh. Bonus guess for me, yay.
You're now double wrong.
That counts as 2 points against him in the standings, by the way.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
You get 0 points twice.
No. 0 points. Uh-huh.
I legitimately can't think of any non-humans.
It's like there's the random dead Athion in like one of the flashbacks that like you just see a pile of burned Kremlings.
Right.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But not named. So
Rosharan, not human.
pile of Kremlings.
Named character. I'm gonna go with a
In
weird Amaram because he was not entirely human when he died.
okay. Can you remind me of the of the clue about Roshar? They're from Roshar?
They're from Roshar, and it is not Amaram.
Okay. Because like I was about to guess Honor, but he's not from Roshar.
Yeah.
Did we have a clue that this is a female, or was that the previous question?
No,
That was the previous one.
His character died in battle, is not human, and is from Roshar.
I thought Leshwi was clever.
It was.
He was, but it wasn't right.
No.
Are we waiting on your guess, Ian? Or-
Yes, I'm
Yes.
thinking.
Yeah.
Well, we're all sinking.
We are on a sinking ship. That's true. This episode sunk a long time ago.
Was the Chasm Fiend that Dalinar killed female?
That didn't say this character's female. That wasn't a clue.
Why do I keep thinking about females?
That's just the story of your life, isn't it?
Definitely staying in the final version of this episode.
I'd hope so. That's why I said it.
Like the only thing I can think of is that one singer that Kaladin killed with the spear.
Oh!
I don't think we learn
Oh.
a name for that though.
On the wall? No, we definitely don't. Oh,
That's
singer.
my
many-
guess. That's my
But
guess.
singers died in Kholinar, so yeah, I think you're right.
It
I
is
think that's
not
good.
that random spear man that Kaladin killed. Cool.
Okay.
Clue number 4. This character has a spren bond.
That could be any frickin' singer. What?
Do you want a little like side clue to help? Like a
Yes.
4.5.
Is it a singer or is it not a damn singer?
Oh, it's Sureblood.
Oh yes, Ian got it.
Oh!
My half clue was going to be expand your definition of character, and so yes,
Yeah.
it was
Dang it.
Shoreblood.
Technically, I don't know if that's. Wait, no, it was legal because he just gave the spread on the question.
Yeah,
I had it guessed. Okay.
There you go.
I thought
Yeah.
about Sureblood when somebody was talking about random Parsh people, and I was like, but this character has to be female, and and we don't know Sureblood's gender, so no, I'm not gonna.
I'm pretty sure Sureblood is a boy. I'm pretty sure
That's
Adolin
what
describes
I
him
thought.
as he.
Animals aren't characters.
Yes, they are. They are
Yes, they
characters
are.
on the Coppermind.
We have had what are they called?
Still disagree.
We've had AVRs and Shoreblood. Come on, it's Shoreblood. He's a character. Let's give the man some respect. The horse.
But he's not a man. I can't give him respect because I can't give that man respect.
Look,
because he's not a man.
Did you shed a tear when he died?
Even Adolin didn't.
Adolin was pretty broken up about the whole thing.
Later.
Well, yeah, he was in the middle of fighting. Anyway,
I'm not a pet person. I'm cold and heartless. I'm not a pet person.
I was very attached to Shoreblood, and I was very upset when he died.
Why?
Same.
Because
Why were you?
Damn fine horse. You know, he had a job to do and he did it well. You got to respect that. Yeah.
Sure.
Blood. The clue number 5.
That was good. That was good.
Clue number 5 was this character was at the Battle of Narok. So, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Curses. That's stupid.
It was an excellent
That was very
character.
Good. Well done.
I'm just
Sureblood's overrated. I'm calling it now. Sureblood overrated. More like overrated blood.
No.
Am I right?
No. I'm sorry.
Am I right?
No.
Am I? No?
No.
Okay.
So thank you, everyone.
Follow us on 17shard.com.
Send your entries to who's that Cosmere character at gmail.co.uk. No, don't.
We have no dark horses there.
Follow us on 17shard.com or our Discord for all your news, discussion, theories, fun, and games. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, although Twitter's better than Facebook because you actually will see our tweets rather than Facebook where they'll just be hidden into a nameless algorithm. SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes. Leave us a review on iTunes, and we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Be good to each other.
Caw.